One of the London Zoo's recent advertisement caused me some irritation, so patiently did it distort reality. Headlined with "Without zoos, you might as well tell these animals to get stuffed." It was bordered with illustration of several endangered species and went on to extol the myth that without zoos like London Zoo, these animals will almost certainly disappear forever. With the zoo world's rather mediocre record on conservation, one might be forgiven for being slightly skeptical about such an advertisement. Zoos were originally created as places of entertainment, and their suggested involvement with conversation didn't seriously arise until about 30 years ago, when the Zoological Society of London held the first formal international meeting on the subject. 8 years later, a series of world conferences took place entitled The Breeding of Endangered Species, and form of this point onward, conversation became the zoo community's buzzword. This commitment has now been clearly defined in the World Zoo Conservation Strategy WZCA September 1993, which, although an important and welcome document, does seem to be based on an unrealistic optimism about the nature of the zoo industry. The WZCS estimates that there are about 10,000 zoos in the world, of which around 1,000 represent a core of quality collection capable of participating in coordinated conservation programs. This is probably the document's first failing, as I believe that 10,000 is a serious underestimate of the total number of places masquerading as zoological establishment. Of course, it is difficult to get accurate data, but to put the issue into perspective, I have found that in a year of working in Eastern Europe, I discovered fresh zoos in almost a weekly basis. The second flaw in the reasoning of the WZCS document is the native faith it places in its 1000 core zoos. One would assume that the caliber of this institution would have been carefully examined, but it appears that the criterion for inclusion on the select list might merely be that the zoo is a member of a zoo federation or association. This might be good starting point, working on the premises that member must meet certain standards, but again the facts don't support the theory. The greatly respected American Association of Zoological Parks and the Aquariums, AAZPA, has had extremely dubious members, and in the UK, the Federation of Zoological Gardens of Great Britain and Ireland has occasionally had members that have been roundly censured in the national press. These include Robin Hill Adventure Park on the Isle of Wight, which many consider the most notorious collection of animals in the country. This establishment, which for years was protected by the Isle's local council, which viewed it as a tourist amenity, was finally closed down following a damning report by a veterinary inspector appointed under the terms of the Zoo Licensing Act 1981. As it was always a collection of dubious repute, one is obliged to reflect upon the standards that the Zoo Federation sets when granting membership. The situation is even worse in developing countries, where little money is available for redevelopment, and it is hard to see a way of incorporating collection into the overall scheme of the WZCS. Even assuming the WZCS 1000 core zoos are all of a high standard, complete with scientific staff and research facilities, trained and dedicated